Hey, 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 America. This is the Ace Micheals Show, and I'm Ace Micheals. Welcome aboard. I want to thank everybody for sharing and liking and becoming friends and saying nice stuff, because nowadays they don't necessarily have to say nice stuff on the internet. Have you ever noticed that? The internet has made people just untamed. You know what I mean? Like grandmas even are saying stuff they would never say to a person's face. Remember they used to say, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. Just type it, put it up on Facebook. Hey, if you've got an opinion on that, please get in touch with us at the show. You can email us acemichaelshow@yahoo.com, or you can send it to our new email address, which is blastpopmedia@yahoo.com. That way you can voice your opinions, suggestions, convictions, beliefs, ideas, and we'll entertain them all. None of them will be used for anything profitable. I'm just saying. Well, today on the show, my good friend, Mr. Mike Kehoe. Mike Kehoe is in the house. What's up, Mr. Kehoe?
It's all good, my friend.
What's
How are
happening,
you?
brother?
Yeah, it's all.
So, Mike, you are in the business of making movies and making people laugh, but not always at the same together, right?
Well, yeah, that's right. I'm an entertainer, sir. So I do whatever I can, whenever I can do it. So, yeah, whatever work I can get. I do stand-up comedy. I act when I can get it, and I also have this geriatric Elvis comedy routine that I have. So
a geriatric Elvis?
Geriatric Elvis. Just think of
y'all won't leave Elvis alone. They'll come up with every kind of Elvis thing except just regular Elvis.
Yep.
Wow.
Well,
that's amazing.
Exactly. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So as a stand-up comedian, I want to jump into the heart of something. This is an ugly topic, but Bill Cosby used to be a stand-up comedian, and
Correct.
so did Louis C.K.
Mm-hmm.
Now, has there been a stigma attached now to stand-up comedy and sexual repression, sexual assault, and all this type of stuff, or is comedy just the same as it ever was? Nobody cares about that stuff.
I think things have really been desensitized in today's world. I don't think it's really affected it.
That's interesting.
I really don't. No, I haven't
Wow.
had any. I don't see it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of the reasons I got into comedy is so people can forget their troubles.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
For example, and one of the things I don't do is political comedy. I mean, that's just me personally. Because I want to get away from that. I want people to just come in and laugh, laugh at yourself. I do jokes about being old or things like that, or
funny things.
Yeah, funny things. I don't want to talk. It's too easy to do jokes about President Trump or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's just like that's the easy thing. Let's just come in and have fun and laugh at each other and that sort of thing.
So let me ask you something, Mike. Do you ever have a thought or a feeling about something and you think, man, that would be a funny joke to put in my show, but then you think, I better not do that because it doesn't show me being responsible as an artist, or it's too much of my personal life. I don't really want people to know that much about the real Mike. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, do you have a filter of what goes on stage and what stays in your personal life?
Oh, no, not really. Actually, a lot of it is my personal life, and that's what makes it fun. If I can laugh at myself and people can then see themselves in me, that sort of thing. Think of Rodney Dangerfield, who for me was one of my mentors growing up. That sort of thing. If I can laugh at me, then you can laugh at me.
Right.
So.
But now, what about other people in your life, though? Like, do you tell jokes about your ex-wife or your current wife, or
yes,
my wife, or anybody else's? Take my wife, please.
I tell jokes about my wife. So, yeah, and my wife and kids and so on.
And clearly, she's fine with that.
Yeah. Now
Does she know you're telling jokes about her, Mike?
She has a filter. There's a limit when it comes to her. There are certain things that I can't say, even regardless of how funny they are. So she'll have a filter for me, but yeah, she let me know where the line is there. So.
I did comedy for a while, and the thing about comedy that's different from any other art form is, I think, is the instant gratification or not that happens. Like if you tell a joke, you get a laugh, that's proven that the art form is working for you. If you tell a joke and it doesn't get a laugh, you kind of missed something in the mix there. Something in the formula didn't happen. Would you agree?
Yes and no. I mean, that's how you find out. I mean, you got to go and try it out, right?
Right.
But the weird thing that I've noticed with comedy, I can have a routine, and let's say you're doing 3 different shows, 3 shows, and I can go out and do the same routine, and I'll get laughs exactly where I'm supposed to, and then I'll do the same routine, and I'll get laughs everywhere I'm not supposed to, and then I'll do the same routine, and I won't get any laughs at all, and it's the same routine. And I did the same routine, you know what I mean? So sometimes it's just the audience, it's just, it can just be the audience. And for whatever reason, the vibe just doesn't happen.
But it is different though. Like for a rock musician, for example, they're not gonna play the same encore and get a different reply or a different response from the audience each time. A dancer's not gonna do the same dance routine and get a different response. But in comedy, you have the same material, but it goes over for different audiences different ways.
Right, and you're right. I mean, some jokes just don't work, and that's that. I mean, then you cut them out. I mean, that's how. Unfortunately, that's how we find out. I mean, we have to. You write your material. What's funny in my head. You know what I mean? And when I'm practicing in front of the mirror or whatever, or hey honey, is this funny to you? I'll try it out on her, and I think it's great. And I'll go out and I'll try it for a couple of times. And I'm like, okay, well, scratch that one off.
Keep it or scratch it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do. So you have to be thick-skinned. You have to, otherwise you're in the wrong business.
Well, let's talk about movie making. That's what I really want to talk about, man.
Okay.
I want to talk about making movies, man.
All right.
All right. So you're a filmmaker. What's the challenges with that?
Well, I'm not a filmmaker. I'm an actor, and
You're an actor.
I just recently got into it.
Okay, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. We have your resume. Have a nice day.
I just recently got into it, and it was really weird because I actually recently got back in a stand-up comedy. I was doing this way back in the 70s, back in Chicago, and then. Life got in the way. Second marriage. Moved out here to Vegas.
Always the second marriage.
Got back into comedy, and then I finally took the plunge and got into making movies, and I had put a resume together and I auditioned for a part in a movie, and it was just one scene, but it said it had to be really funny. I said, well, I can be funny, so I went to audition for this movie, right, and I was scared to death. I was nervous as could be. And I go in there and the casting director, and the scene was, I was supposed to be working in a pharmacy, and this gal comes in, and she's from Vietnam, and she's trying to buy condoms. And we got the language barrier. Okay, so you can, so I'm like, so I did the scene, and guy, he liked it, and it turns out that, he says, I have your resume. I said, well, your assistant does, but here I got a copy of it, and the movie's called Las Vegas, Vietnam, and it's four gangs trying for control of the gambling in Vegas, but black, Hispanic, Asian, and white, but they're all old. And he goes, oh yeah, I saw, I remember, because they had a picture of the Elvis on there, but it's I said, you do realize that's an old Elvis? He goes, you're kidding me. So I got up and I sang, Are You Lucid Tonight? Which is one of my parodies, right? He goes, by the time I was done, he was in hysterics. He goes, you're in. I'm like, okay, cool. So the next day I get a call from his assistant, and she says, well, you didn't get the part you auditioned for. I'm like, oh, okay. He says he's rewriting the script, and he says he's creating a role just for you, and he's putting your Elvis in the movie. Oh, so wow. I co-starred in my first movie, and my Elvis is in it. It hasn't come out yet. I'm like, okay, this is like really cool. So that's how it all started.
And so that was the start of your career.
That's how it started.
And now, co-star in a movie.
So it's still in production, and so since then I've done some background work, like in Jason Bourne and the Godzilla movie that's coming out in May, and now I'm working on a film called The Devil Comes Dressed to Church 2. I have a supporting role in that where I play a bishop. That's a comedy.
Nice.
So, I mean, yeah, and it's just, that's taken off for me, so.
So clearly, I mean, you're an actor, so you want to do roles as often as you can do a role. Is there any role you wouldn't do when you've thought about it, and I'm sure you've thought about it, is there any role you just wouldn't do? You would stay away from this at all costs?
I haven't had anything offered to me yet, but yeah, I mean, if there was anything that I really found offensive, there probably really isn't any, because as an actor, I would like to be able to think, or I like to think that I would be able to reach, to grow and stretch. It's interesting because you bring up a very interesting point. As an actor, you have to be able, let's say, could I be an axe murderer? Could I be a child or a wife beater or whatever? Me personally, no. But if I have to portray that character, I have to be able to step into that skin.
So you wouldn't have any reservation about playing any role that was given to you?
It would, like if I had to be like a pedophile or something like
what
that.
What if they asked you to play me?
So you're just too handsome. I couldn't do it.
No, trust me, believe me, that ain't the case. I couldn't do it. But if they asked you to play a character.
No, to answer really, I have been asked. I have actually got a script at home where they want me to be a pedophile, and that one I'm struggling with. Because once I do this, if I take this part, once I do this, it'll always be part of what I've done. So that I'm struggling with right now.
And I would think, now I'm not an actor, but I would think if you did that role, aren't you kind of feeding into that a bit? Like if I play a role of a pimp, then I'm thinking when my boys watch me playing a pimp, they're going to think that it's okay to be a pimp. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I understand that. Obviously that was something you would have to explain to them, that obviously this is just make-believe. And,
right.
That's something only you could, that's a very personal thing between you and your boys,
Right.
So, but for me as a human being, you know what I mean? Because to me, a pedophile is just, if not the lowest life form on the earth, it's pretty damn close,
Right,
So,
right.
and believe me, I'm struggling with it. And I honestly, I called the director up and I said, because he flattered me by saying, I got this part, I thought of you. I said, really? This came across,
right,
and I'm the first guy you thought of, really? I'm like, thanks a lot.
Kind of not really. Doug.
Exactly. I'm like,
seriously?
wow, So, I'm like, I'm sure I haven't said yes. I read the part. It's very emotional just to read it. It brings tears to my eyes. And of course, you have to, as an actor, I have to try to. Can I do it? Yes.
Sure.
Do I want to do it? It's a big step. Because I'm a comedian too. I gravitate towards the comedy and stuff
Right.
like that. But again, this could really stretch my acting chops and could show the world that I can handle this role. But again, once I'm there, and you can't take it back. So I don't know.
Sure.
So to answer your question, yeah, it's one I'm actually struggling with right now.
Pretty heavy stuff for a comedian.
Very heavy.
Let me ask you one last question before we
Okay.
run out of time, Mike. I really appreciated you having you on the show today. My question for you is, if you could, it's not really a question, it's more of a challenge, actually. It's a challenge.
Okay.
Are you up for a challenge?
All right.
Define success by Mike Kehoe's definition. What is his definition?
That's easy. For me, success is setting a goal and achieving it. That to me is success. So that's what I do. And for me, I'm actually kind of glad you asked me this, because the reason I got from dreaming to actually becoming successful, like my wife and I are authors too, and all this has happened literally in the last couple of years, where I would say, to any of your viewers of your show, if you want your dreams to become a reality, it's really very simple. Turn your dreams into a goal, because otherwise you're just dreaming. When you're dreaming, you're not taking any action, you're just dreaming. The minute I turn my dreams into goals, I don't let anything, I said, nothing's going to keep me from my goal. So those obstacles, you just plow right through them, or you go around them. So, and the minute I set my goals, I'm achieving. I wanted to get into movies. I'm in them. My wife wanted to write a book. I said, write it. She wrote it. She's a published author. She asked me to write with her. You know what I mean? So turn your dreams into goals, and then achieve your goals, and then you succeeded.
Yeah, and that is what's up.
That's
Mike Kehoe is on the show today. I liked everything he had to say, every single thing. I liked it. I would put it on my wall. I would wear it on my T-shirt.
Well, thank
It'd be
you.
a
Thank you very
long
much.
T-shirt, but I would wear it. Michael, thank you for being on the show
Thank
today.
you
I
so
appreciate
much.
it.
I appreciate it.
Check him out on the www. Y'all ain't got nothing to do. Y'all watching this. What y'all doing? Go check Mike out. And that's what's up, man. It's been the Ace Michael Show. You know what I say at the end of the show? Live the life you love. Love the life you live. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, it's been awesome.